Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a massive shift in the business world. It's a shift that explains why some modern companies seem to play by a completely different set of rules, and why so many others just can't keep up. We're talking about how to compete and survive in the age of AI. So let's start with a really big question, pulling from some great work by Iansiti and Karim Lakhani. Why are today's corporate giants just so different from the big names of the past? The answer, it turns out, isn't just about better technology. It's about a total revolution in a company's DNA, a brand new blueprint for how you build a business. And this image, this visual says it all. You see that line for Nokia? That represents the old way of doing things, the traditional operating model. What happened to them wasn't just losing to a better phone. No, it was a head-on collision with a completely different kind of company, Apple, built on a digital core. This wasn't just competition. It was a clash of architectures, and honestly, only one was ever going to walk away from that crash.
Okay, so to really get what happened in that collision, we have to look at the blueprints. Let's break down these two completely different ways to operate, the old school versus the new digital model.
So on one side, you've got the traditional model. It's what powered our economy for, 100 years. But here's the problem. As you grow, you add more people, and things get complicated, and everything slows down. You eventually hit a wall of diminishing returns. Why? Because people are the bottleneck. But then you look at the other side, the digital model. Here, software and algorithms are at the very heart of the business. And this kind of company doesn't slow down when it grows. It actually gets better. It's a system built for what we call increasing returns. It gets more efficient at scale, it can do more things, that's scope, and it gets smarter with everything it does, that's learning. So you might be asking, what's the engine driving this powerful new model? Well, the authors have a great name for it. They call it the AI factory. And this is the real secret sauce of the modern digital company. I want you to picture an old school assembly line, right? But instead of building cars, this assembly line is mass producing decisions. That's the AI factory. It's a system that takes in raw data at one end and spits out predictions, insights, and automated actions at the other. And it does it at a speed and scale that no human organization could ever dream of matching. And here's where it gets really powerful. This factory runs on a virtuous cycle. It's a feedback loop. You start with a ton of data, which you use to train your algorithms. Those algorithms then make smarter predictions and drive better actions. And those actions, they generate even more data, which feeds right back into the start of the loop. It's a cycle that just keeps getting smarter and faster. And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is real. This chart from research at Baidu proves it. Now, don't worry about the complex math here. Just look at the trend. As they threw more and more data at their AI, we're talking millions of words. That line goes down, down, down. And that line represents mistakes. More data equals fewer mistakes. It's the learning effect, made perfectly visible. That is the engine of competitive advantage today. So what does this actually look like in the wild? Well, let's take a look at one of the absolute masters of this model, Amazon. Amazon's journey wasn't some happy accident. It was a slow, deliberate, 2-decade-long process of re-architecting their entire company. They systematically transformed themselves from a simple online bookseller into a massive digital platform, a platform built to house their AI factory. And you can see the results of that long-term vision right there in their stock price. Their strategy was, in concept, pretty simple, but in practice, incredibly difficult. They took every single traditional business process you can think of and rebuilt it from the ground up on digital foundations. And by doing that, they just eliminated the costs of human complexity and unlocked the almost limitless power of digital scale, scope, and learning. And this is where it really hits home for all of us. You see, a device like the Amazon Echo isn't just a speaker. You should think of it as a sensor. It's like a tentacle for the AI factory, reaching right into our living rooms. Every time you say, "Alexa, play my favorite song," or "Alexa, add milk to the shopping list," you're feeding that virtuous cycle with fresh, valuable data. The scope this enables is just mind-boggling. By 2018, Alexa already had over 50,000 skills. Think about that for a second. Amazon didn't build those. They couldn't have. Instead, they built the platform, the AI factory, and an entire army of developers plugged right into it. The result is a scope of services so huge that a traditional company could never, ever hope to compete. And this brings us to what might be the most crucial takeaway for any business leader watching this. The role of your employees, it completely changes. They're no longer the ones doing the work. Instead, they are the designers, the architects, the overseers of the automated system that is the work. It's a huge shift in what management even means. So, this all leads to a new mandate for leadership, a new core mission for anyone trying to survive in this era. It's not just about having a great strategy anymore, it's about having the right architecture.
Your job as a manager completely transforms. You're not a supervisor in the old sense. You have to become a designer of these complex digital systems, an innovator figuring out what's next, an integrator connecting all the pieces together, and maybe most importantly, a guardian, making sure this powerful system is reliable, secure, and used responsibly.
And so, we end with the one question that every organization has to ask itself. Seriously, is your company being architected to compete in this new world, or is it set up to become collateral damage? Because in the age of AI, you're either the one causing the collision or you're the one that's in its path. There really is no in between.